So next up, we have Mark Sawchuk, who is our VP of Construction Solutions at NBS. Mark has been a huge part of our return to work team, and he has really helped us through our migration from being a furniture dealer to an interiors integrator. So today, Mark is going to talk a little bit more about flexible and adaptable spaces, as well as how we make our spaces safe and compelling as we migrate back to the office. So with that, I am going to turn it over to Mark Sawchuk.
Hello, everybody. Today, I'm going to try to talk about what I call a relatively complicated subject, but I'm trying to do it quickly and just with the goal of explaining a few concepts and maybe giving you some information that you didn't have prior to today's session, in hopes that you'll take away something that you can use back in your company and with your clients, or simply feel comfortable about giving us a call and we can do a deeper dive and spend time with you maybe at your office or another virtual event. But one of the things that helped us at NBS is developing some principles and some guidelines to help us what we call develop and build a compelling and safe workplace. And a lot of this what we call is like universal intelligence. Many firms have embraced and have discovered some of these principles, but this is just our language and our way of kind of helping and developing kind of a go-forward strategy in developing compelling and safe work places and environments. One of the things I want to spend a little bit of time on, and I'm just kind of skip over these very quickly, is that we feel it's so important now, more so than ever, is developing the concept of, ecosystems where there's more choice and control for the occupants. We feel that the workplace is going to evolve, it's going to change, and it's going to be quite different. But we know for sure that we're going to need to provide more choices for them to do their work in environments and different types of work settings to have more control to do that. We also see that the workplace is going to really dramatically change from being, in many cases, more of a fixed environment to truly a fluid environment. The systems, the building systems, the walls, the furniture, the fixtures, all need to be able to change and adapt. And that the team members need to easily be able to adjust the type of work and the level of privacy required for the tasks that they have to do. When they come back to the office, obviously the office will be different, supporting different types of work. The other thing is that we believe that facility teams are going to be more of an advisory capacity to the occupants and not necessarily the gatekeepers. So these spaces and these environments that we'll be creating and providing really need to be able to accommodate and quickly allow the occupants to make changes and move the fixtures and the furnishings and the technology to suit the task that they have at hand. The other thing we see is really more of a focus on me within we. And what I mean by that, and what we mean by that, is that we need to tailor the spaces for how they need to work. And we see that changing. And we see that it's being more and more important to be able to create environments to allow our team members, our employees and occupants to refresh, to find some solitude and feel safe. And I don't know about you, but after a couple meetings of continuous Teams meetings or Zoom meeting, it's exhausting. And you do need a place to refresh and find some solitude. And even more importantly now is to create an environment where our team members and employees and occupants feel safe. So the other thing that we're seeing and we believe in that is the collaborative spaces, we have to leverage those. And those are going to be, they have to perform at a different level in the past. They have to be easy to use. They have to be intuitive. And they have to be equipped with technology, whiteboards to annotate, to memorialize, to brainstorm, to help with innovation. They're going to need to address mobile power, people coming and going, coming into the office for very different reasons, very specific reasons. And even as little things down to having the ability to address PPE equipment in our workspaces to make it more accessible for all the occupants and team members. And we also see the merge of the digital and the physical kind of coming together, whether it's data, whether it's through sensors, all of this space, all has to work together. The built environment, the architectural, the furniture, the technology, and data is going to be a very important aspect to allow us to help to develop and deliver compelling and safe workplaces. It kind of resonates. It's kind of a backbone of what we believe is our AFT, architecture and furniture technology, and how important it is to have all that to integrate it. And today I'm going to spend the time on how modular construction, how demountable walls, how architectural products and pods can help, can assist, can play a key role in doing that. So I wanted to share a quick example that highlights two things. Number one, how the investment in modular construction is a good investment and how it can be somewhat future-proof in the terms of how these products can help us in day one, can help day two, can also help day three. Or another way to look at it, these products can help us with our offices that we have now and that we have had, and that as we have changed and we are working through this crisis that we're dealing with, trying to work and help our clients and help everyone come back to work. And then certainly in the future, and some companies are already working on the future with, truly reimagining their businesses and reimagining how they work. So as the program requirements for each one of these conditions, each one of these scenarios dramatically change, these products lend themselves to easily change no matter whether they're dealing in the present, day two needs, and certainly in the future what we refer to day three. So as simple things as right now, it might be common program requirements to have a space, and again, these are just examples, not specific, but you could have 6 private offices, 1 conference room, some benching stations. Well, we know now that with some social distancing and some of the new things that we're addressing, that we probably are not going to see some benching stations with people being that close to each other. And we certainly would probably not see as many private offices as many companies are exploring work from home options, where maybe some of those task-oriented work could be done in a home environment. So again, maybe less private offices, but still the need for having some private offices, but into having enclaves and more meeting rooms and informal spaces. So in each one of these scenarios, I wanted to show the numbers on the bottom represent a quantity. It's a quantity of lineal foot of modular construction. So that throughout the different scenarios and the programming requirements that change quite dramatically, the investment made, the commitment, the expenditure for demountable and modular construction can future-proof and can work in the present and into the future. And we think that's an important thing. We're also hearing a lot that a lot of customers are not quite understanding of where they are and what they need to do as far as reconfigure and reposition their offices. So there's somewhat of a hesitation, and some people really are looking to maybe get all of that and try to figure it all out. And what we're finding is that it's very helpful to know that if you invest in a product now for the information you have at hand to make the changes that you need to, the same investment can help you as you evolve and understanding the program requirements you have into the future. So it's allowing and helping some projects to actually move forward a little bit quicker. So again, just to show you how simple program requirements can be changed and the investment in these products can be readapted and meet the needs of the future. So we call that future proofing, and that we're having a lot of conversations about that right now. The other thing I wanted to share is it's always important to really kind of understand the why, and I just explained how important the flexibility was with modular products. I want to talk about some other very important things, and at one point with modular construction, there are people that purchased or decided to invest with modular construction on just one of the 5 things that I have listed here. But right now we're seeing some of these attributes, these benefits, really take on a new meaning and have new importance in the marketplace with our clients. As an example, we believe that modular constructions offers a safer job site. Maybe not in the sense of, I'm not speaking, I should say, in the sense of providing less injuries or less workforce injury, but in terms of infectious disease control. So if you think about the fact that a modular product is built, is manufactured off-site, and it comes to the site to be assembled, that eliminates having a lot of construction trades involved with the construction and the building of that product. So think about all the companies that you might need with standard construction to have to be in your environment working, to have to hope that they have and follow their protocols, and having exposure and the congestion in the loading docks, the congestion in the elevators, and all the traffic. And just think about what a benefit it could be to have a system, a way of building where you're erecting a finished product with fewer people in the building. So it's safer, it's controlling risk, and it's making the occupants that are there in the buildings feel more comfortable about that. We're also seeing that these products and this method of construction is a quicker installation time, and certainly has a big impact on reconfiguring for day 2 into day 3. We're also seeing another aspect that's really kind of getting a lot of traction, we have a lot of conversation, is that there's a benefit with a single point of contact for this type of construction and this type of a solution. You know, we are hearing a lot of our friends in the industry and peers that the companies are downsizing, and they're eliminating positions in the facilities departments or the real estate departments. And the people there are stressed, and there's a lot of anxiety, and the work is not going away, but the people and the internal resources are. And if you think about how you acquire, how you purchase, and how you manage modular construction is quite differently. There's not as much individual procurement for all the various trades. There's not a lot of coordination of the submittals that needed to require for electrical or for marker boards or for the technology. So by working with modular construction, that single point of contact makes things a lot easier. And you know, we just heard recently that with a lot of the safety protocols that people have in place, and for very good reasons, there's things called pre-task analysis where we're trying to identify where are there risks for safety concerns and where for infectious disease concerns. So with a single point of contact, all of those functions can be coordinated through a modular construction delivery system. And that's having a lot of, we're gaining a lot of conversation around it. And of course, fewer disruptions. You know, we just had a call today on a project that one of the painters had tested positive for COVID. And that took that tradesperson or that entity off the job site, caused a delay. So again, with a product that is being made off-site in a controlled environment, you eliminate, and it helps to have less and fewer disruptions. And something that's always been a benefit of modular construction, and it continues to be, is consistent details, the quality. These products are made in a controlled environment. They're made with the highest degree of quality standards, and they're made consistently. So whether we do a project on the first floor or the 10th floor or across the state or across the country, the product is always the same. The quality is consistent. And that's been really important over the last couple of years with the skilled trades shortages and some of the inconsistencies that we have in delivering the quality that we need on projects. So that's kind of the why about and how important to know that, kind of understand that about modular construction. And the other thing to understand is the difference, and I'm going to call it the difference between conventional or metal stud and drywall and really the modular construction, in the sense that we're usually creating an environment. We're creating an ecosystem of space. So that's an important distinction to make when planning and when having conversations regarding the economics of projects. So obviously, if a wall is being used for pure space division, that's a different product than a wall that is being used to house technology, used to hold marker boards, and it is used for acoustical performance. So it's very important to make that distinction and understand that there's a day two cost association that also drives a lot of the economic decisions. So not every project is a perfect candidate for modular construction, architectural demountable walls, but we're seeing more and more instances and cases where modular construction, demountable products, reusable products, flexible products are starting to make a lot more sense. So the key there with the economics is to have that conversation early. And we're also hearing that landlords are providing a tenant build-out allowance. And it's not so much that the allowance amount is not fair or appropriate, it's what that allowance can get you with the construction cost that oftentimes the clients lease transactions, they're very concerned about the out-of-pocket cash expenditures they need. So by bridging and blending modular construction in the very early processes with the tenant improvement dollars, we can oftentimes create an environment where the landlord or the building owner can take the space to a certain point and be ready for the tenant to come in or the occupant to come in with their furniture, with their fixtures, with their technology, and their modular construction. And that seems to be a very powerful conversation to be able to accommodate and meet the budgets that both the landlord may be addressing and the TI dollars, stretching those, and for the tenant to have their money being spent in what we call FF&E dollars. The other thing that we're seeing that is having a huge impact on this is that we're offering some great leasing options. And if you think about what a lot of our clients are going through is cash flow and making sure that they're very cash defensive right now. And leasing it really helps with protecting their cash flow, and it allows them to spend their money on their FF&E dollars and spread that cost out over a period of time. And that's been very desirable and been beneficial to a lot of projects that we're seeing in the marketplace. So those are a couple things that I think are important in the context of modular construction and how it impacts creating compelling and safer work environments. And there's another thing I want to just follow up with, is that many of us in the last couple of years, and Megan, if you want to move our slide up a little bit, advance that, thank you, are what we refer to as architectural pods. And those products, many of them are most familiar with the architectural pods as it relates to what we call the phone booth. And now in the environment that we're dealing with, that we can use these products in a number of different applications to increase the number of private spaces. We can use it to help with telemedicine requirements that companies want to have a means to provide for their employees to communicate with their doctors. For security checkpoints coming into facilities, just for creating more enclave type spaces. So these products are really helpful in providing additional flexibility and to helping future-proof that space and helping kind of maximize how we can help create a compelling and safer work environment. So that's a lot of stuff I've thrown on everybody, and I would love to hear some questions, comments.
Well, I think everybody on this call could understand, this is John Barber from NBS, can understand that, yes, and the upfront cost for modular construction is going to be higher than normal drywall and so forth, but especially with tomorrow's world, today's world and tomorrow's world, you'll make up that money real quickly as you will have to change the office around probably a few different times.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks to Mark for being our guest speaker for today. Again, I think it's just really important to think about space differently And now more than ever, flexible and adaptable spaces matter. So thanks for being our guest speaker.